Hello, everybody. Welcome in to Joe Sports and Ministry Talks TV, where you get your sports, your ministry, your talks, and some TV. How's everybody doing on this marvelous afternoon? I am so excited today, y'all. I am so excited. This is the first segment of Let's Talk Bowling, y'all. And I'm excited to be here. This is going to be great, y'all. This is going to be great. I have I have the honor and privilege of being able to interview one of my good friends today. Um, he's not only a really good local bowler, but he's also has won on a PBA regional tour, which is very hard to do. He has a ton of talent, and he's young, y'all. He's younger than me. I mean, just a great bowler. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We got five amazing people in the building. I see we got five people in the building. Welcome in, Triple C. Thank you so much for being here. Patty, thank you for being here. Thank y'all so much for being here. Well, guys, he's on his way, and this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun for everybody who's here knows that I love bowling talk. Bowling talk is fun in the sun, and it's good to kind of pick. It's good to kind of pick people's brains and get to know um, what their knowledge of sport, what they got going on. Fun, y'all, and I so thoroughly enjoy it. So this is gonna be fun. My buddy's name, if I didn't mention his name, is Aaron Beaver. Y'all, he's right. Amazing bowler. Huh? Am I blurry? Okay, guys, hold on. I think I might have to refresh. I think I'm very blurry, guys. Let me check this on my phone to make sure. Yes, I'm very blurry. I'm going to have to refresh. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me refresh right now, guys. Don't go anywhere. Let me refresh. Let me refresh. All right, guys, I'm back. Let's see how this goes now. Hopefully, I'm not blurry. Hopefully, I'm not blurry, guys. Let's see. Hopefully, I'm not blurry. I don't want to be blurry. Okay, it's better. So far, it's better. Wait a minute. Hold on, let's see. It's so far so good. Okay, Mike said I'm good now. Okay, thanks, Mike. If y'all get blurry, guys, let me know because there's a lot of internet going on in the house right now. So if I get blurry, I have to make them turn off some stuff. Welcome in, Lefty. Hey, Mike, how you doing today? Welcome in. So I want to make sure that we don't be blurry today, y'all, because we want to get through this interview, y'all. We want to get through this interview without being blurry, and it's going back blurry again. Go, Jace. Turn that off. Turn that off for a minute. Tell this to turn the computer off. I'm blurry and I can't be blurry while I'm doing this. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta get this stuff off. All right, guys. I'm back again. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Hopefully this works now. All right, I'm back now. I'm pretty sure now we're good. We're going to be good. All right, now, guys. I want to introduce y'all to the man of the hour. He's here, man. He's here already. I'm gonna introduce my buddy Aaron Beaver. Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing on this marvelous afternoon?
Doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna bowl up in Three Rivers with James Rue off at this doubles tournament later this afternoon. Had the day off work, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. Well, we're just gonna jump right. You want to tell anybody about yourself a little bit? You want to tell everybody about yourself a little bit here?
yeah. So I'm Aaron. I've been bowling pretty much my entire life. I got into it through the family. I don't know. It seems to be a pretty common theme with bowling. You know, everybody gets into it through the family. Their parents bowled, their grandparents bowled, and yeah, I'm just thankful for it. I made a lot of good friends like Joe, and yeah, that's how it is.
That's cool, man. Well, we'll jump right into some of these questions so that you won't answer any. Well, okay, let's jump into some of these questions here, guys. So, what kind of, I know you just kind of answered that, but what made you get into bowling? Like, was that just like, it was just all about family thing and kind of like passed down from family to a family
um,
trait, or did you?
yeah. So my dad bowled when he was younger. He's actually pretty much worked in a bowling alley like his whole life, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, on and off, he's gotten a couple different jobs here and there, but he's always found his way back into the bowling industry. So he managed a couple bowling centers, and my mom used to do like the bartending at the bowling alleys.
That's cool.
So like pretty much any time that I could go out to the bowling alley, all I'd do is just throw the ball down the lane and just have a ton of fun while I was doing it. And I eventually ended up starting getting pretty good at it, and I took it a little bit more competitive, or I was more competitive at it. So I just drove to keep being better, and I just had so much fun doing it when I was so young that it just made me keep doing it.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. That's kind of the same way, but I got a late start. So,
Oh yeah.
I, yeah, I didn't start till I was 12 years old. So that's kind of late for
Yeah, for
most
sure.
bowlers. Yeah, yeah. So, how old were you when you started? You said pretty much from the start, you kind of like,
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure the exact age, but it had to
yeah,
have been
but
really young. In fact,
okay,
my dad was actually kind of in the works at Signature when Signature was first being built in 2000. So I was born in 97. I'm 23.
okay.
So I was actually the very first person to ever throw a bowling ball at Signature Lanes while it was being built, which is pretty cool. So I would have only been like
That is
two and
cool.
some odd months.
That is
And
cool. That
the
is
pin
pretty cool.
setters weren't even in or anything. The lanes were just laid on the, like on the surface. Nothing was
Yeah, that's
installed or
cool.
anything. My dad was just on the other end and caught the ball. So I think that was
That
pretty cool.
that is cool.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really organize these questions, so they're kind of all over the place.
Oh,
But
that's all
hey,
right. I'm
you
I'm
gonna
kind
have
of
some
ready for
fun with
whatever.
them. Let's see. So, how many leagues do you typically bowl per year? And if so, how many are you bowling this year?
All right, yeah. So this year I'm only bowling two leagues. I used to bowl. I actually one year I bowled in four leagues throughout the week. That was a lot to commit to, though.
Yeah, it is.
So I've kind of backed off of the amount of leagues. This year I've been a little less competitive just because I got a new job in like April of 2020, and it's just been a lot more physically demanding. So I haven't been able to get out as much. So hopefully with this following year, I can kind of prepare myself a little bit better and bowl in some more stuff and get back out there. But yeah, in years past I bowled a lot more leagues, and this, like I said, this year I've kind of laid back, but two leagues is what I'm comfortable with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of me too.
Yeah, anything
Okay.
where you kind of get burnt out, and
Yeah,
then
you do.
anything, like I bowl on, and I wish I bowled on like Tuesday, Thursday, but I bowl Monday, Tuesday, so it's back to back. So after Tuesday, I feel like
Yeah,
I don't have much to look forward to,
yeah.
other than the
That's the
weekends.
thing. I've always kind of stretched mine out too a little bit. So,
Yeah, for
are you
sure.
bowling Monday, Tuesdays this year? Wow.
Yeah, I bowl on Mondays at Maple City and Goshen, and then Tuesdays at Chippewa.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So, so would you say that you're highly competitive, and why?
Oh yeah, I'm very competitive. This year not as much. Like I said, I just haven't been able to get out and practice as much. But in years past, I've always been like, I've always wanted to have the high average in the league growing up. I always wanted to win everything I could. You know,
Mhm.
even second was like I'm going home frustrated. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've always considered myself competitive in pretty much every aspect.
Yeah.
I remember when I was young, I bowled the youth leagues at Country Club, and I was so upset the one year because I didn't get the trophy for and this isn't a super competitive thing, I guess, but I was mad because I didn't get a trophy because I wasn't there every single week. I missed 1 week because my mom and I slept in through our alarm.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's pretty cool though that you always want to win. I mean,
yeah,
to not have a losing mentality is really a really good thing. Really, I mean,
for
sometimes
sure.
we can say, "Oh, you can be too competitive," but I feel like you don't want to lose. So that's a
Right.
good thing. So that means you'll take that over into everything you do in life. So which is really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So who is your bowling idol and why?
Oh man, that's tough. Um, I can't say there's too many people that I like look up to in a sense, but I really like some of the local talent that I've ran into, such as like I'm a huge Ryan Simonelli fan. I really, really like Ryan. He's a super
Yeah,
nice guy. Always competitive.
yeah,
He hates losing.
yeah,
And he's a left-hander like myself,
yeah.
so he's always been somebody even kind of growing up that I looked forward to seeing him on TV. I looked forward to seeing him win. The one year he qualified for the Tournament of Champions, I actually went up and watched it. It was at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis,
Yeah, I
and
remember
he threw
that.
that Gold Rhino Pro, that vintage
Yeah,
Gold Rhino Pro. Man, that
it
was
made
like my
me go
favorite
out and
ball
buy one.
ever. What's that?
It made me go out and buy one.
Yeah, that ball was awesome.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I went up and watched him, and I talked to him a little bit. I was pretty young. I don't remember how old I was. I had to have only been 15 or 16. And for him to take the time out of his day and have a conversation with me about how his qualifying block went was pretty cool.
that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. That is really cool. So, who would you say your style is like, or are you your own individual?
sure. I would say I have a pretty. I don't say it's unique, but I would say I'm pretty much my own bowler. I don't really think my game is super similar to any other bowler, but I've got a pretty decent touch at the bottom. But it's kind of weird. It feels like all the left-handers have really good touch at the bottom. So, you got like Parker Bones, Simonelli, but I can't compare myself to any of them because they're
Yeah,
amazing. So on a national level. So
yeah,
I would
I
say I'm,
get what
I'm
you're
pretty
saying.
much my own bowler though. I've got my own
Yeah,
unique style and game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I mean, is all in how do you you know what I'm saying, you practice and keep
Oh,
your craft going
absolutely.
anyway. That's all. This is all in that anyways.
Absolutely.
So,
If you watch some
yeah.
videos Yeah, if you watch some videos from even 2 or 3 years ago, you can find differences in your game and how it's kind of developed depending on
Oh
what you
yeah.
focused on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is. It is. So how do you typically choose tournaments?
I choose tournaments I really like to bowl as much as I can locally because I like to kind of support our local area in competitive bowling because it's not super strong, it's not super popular. So I try to bowl as much as I can locally. Um, there are some tournaments I kind of stay away from just because I know I really just don't match up in certain houses. And
Yeah.
like a really good example is the Masters out there at Parkway. I've bowled that event I think 3 years and I've never been close. So so
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from it this year. Maybe in the future I'll see
Yeah.
it out again and maybe have some success there. But there are just some certain houses I match up better in that I would obviously rather go bowl as opposed to
Yeah.
something I feel like I've just never matched up very well in that building. And patterns too have a big deal too. I really don't like bowling on long patterns. But anything short, I'll bowl on.
That's
So
cool. That's good.
yeah.
That's good. So how many hours of the week would you typically practice per week?
Oh
If
man.
you were preparing for tournaments, like usually do you if you're preparing for something big, how many hours would you recommend practicing per week?
Yeah. So 2018 to well, I guess it was the 2019 season. I bowled most of the regional tour. I would say I was practicing pretty much every day for a solid 2 to 2.5 hours of just consistently. I mean, I own the, or I was I wasn't quite running the pro shop yet, but I was kind of helping out here and there with some other guys. So I was always at the bowling alley anyway, so it wasn't really out of my way to do it. But so I'd pretty much just go down there and throw the ball for about 2 hours, maybe take a half hour to play like low ball, just to make a game out of practicing my corner pins, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so I
cool.
used to
like
do that a lot. This year, like I said, I've been working a lot more, and I just haven't had the drive yet there. My focuses have been kind of elsewhere. So maybe I can get back into that routine. But yeah, it used to be every day for about 2.5 hours.
That's cool. Nah, I
Yeah,
wish I had that type of commitment.
right. Yeah, and I do too now. Looking back on it, like I had a pretty good opportunity that I was thankful I took advantage of it for sure. But
Yeah, that's cool. That is really cool. So, what is the toughest house you ever bowled in?
oh man, locally that's gotta be OC Lanes there.
Yeah,
That place
I
is
would
tough.
agree. I would
Yeah,
agree.
I remember we bowled the St. Joe Masters there. The first year I bowled it actually, and there was only 2 people plus in qualifying. I think it was me and Ron Jonas.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. And then the following year, I'm pretty sure it was the same way. I think there was only a handful of guys that were plus. And yeah, it's just always been a super hard center, though. I heard high average in that house is only like, 2-0 or something like that.
Yeah, it was. I think one year I went out there with Dale Gage because he used to work there. He used to throw plastic there, and I
Oh,
think he was
yeah,
high.
yeah.
He was high average in the house, and he probably was like in the whole league or whatever, and he probably was like 199, and that was like the top league or
Oh,
something.
my
And he was
goodness.
like 199 or some dude, and
I
I
believe it
mean,
there.
and I'm talking about plastic with plastic. You would get a different reaction out of plastic every time you threw it, dude. It was like it was
That's
like
crazy.
man, yeah,
Yeah, I
it was
remember
crazy.
going out there. I threw the first year I went up there. I brought a silver ringer, the Brunswick silver platinum
Oh
ringer or
yeah,
whatever it was called. And there was so much friction there because it's like 40 feet of Guardian or something like that,
yeah.
and then like I think the back ends are wood or something like that. So like there's so much friction in the fronts, your resin balls don't even hook down lane. They just hook right at the arrows and just kind of fizzle out and go straight. Like there's so much friction there.
I
It's
know it's
so
crazy.
hard.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I heard they like the owner before that was like using like bad. He was like treating the lanes with some type of bad conditioner or something, cleaning them or something. That's
Huh.
why they like really bad like that or something. Yeah, that's what Dale was telling me. I
That's
can't
weird.
remember exactly what he said, but it was
Yeah.
like some. He was doing something to him that he wasn't supposed to.
Well, it's also got that unique characteristic of like I'm pretty sure it's 45 feet of Guardian. I mean,
Yeah,
let alone how many wood houses we even have nowadays. Let alone 45
yeah,
feet of Guardian. That's super rare.
yeah. Very rare. Very rare. So, what's the easiest house you ever bowled in?
Oh yeah, so probably Signature. That place has been
Yeah,
pretty soft for a number of
yeah,
years. Yeah. It's gotten a little bit harder the last couple of years. I think that's dictated mainly by how well they upkeep the lane machine there. So,
okay,
because the first couple of years I bowled there in league, I mean, it was like close your eyes and strike is what it felt like. It was super
yeah,
easy. And even further before my time, I think high average if you didn't average 235 plus in their scratch league, you weren't even in the top 10. I mean, it was pretty
wow,
crazy. Yeah. And that
wow,
place was at its prime. Now, like I said, it's kind of fizzled out a little bit. I think Zach Hagee has a high average there for like 90 games, averaging 248 or something like that. It's
wow.
crazy. Yeah. So it's been a pretty soft house. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
definitely the easier one in the area.
So, what is your favorite oil pattern to bowl on that you have bowled on that you have ever bowled on
Okay. Yeah. So that's got to
besides
be
house?
what's that?
Besides house.
Okay. Yeah. Besides house. Right. Yeah. I would definitely say it's got to be Cheetah, the short pattern. I've
Yeah.
bowled on both variations, the 33, the 35. And I can't remember if they had another distance in there, but I've bowled on pretty much all the variations of it. The very first regional I ever bowled on was on Cheetah, actually. I was 16. It was the first regional I ever bowled. It was at Country Club, if I remember right. And I threw a red melee, and I made the cut, actually. So I
Oh,
was
wow,
super
that's
stoked about
cool.
that.
That's
Yeah, so I was
cool.
super stoked about that. And then kind of fast forward that to a couple years later, that's when I won my first regional. It was on Cheetah as well.
That's cool.
So yeah, I mean anything short, but cheetah in specific. I don't know why, but I usually can get the gutter to peel, and it doesn't overhook. So I just match up really well to that pattern.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I'm totally reverse opposite. I'm terrible on it.
Really?
I'm absolutely being a full roller. It's hard to find the right ball. I can't.
For
It's
sure.
either it hooks a bunch or I can't get it to come off the gutter. Like I
I can
missed a
see
little
that.
bit. Yes, so it's
Because your
horrible for
roll
me.
is super, super forward, so it probably
Yeah,
sees the lanes like immediately.
like crazy immediately.
Out of here, kid.
Like
I got a
crazy.
cat here. He's trying to get in the
I know.
video.
I see.
But yeah, I can see that definitely. And then probably as you move left on short, you probably find your balls like kind of just half tenning. When they finally get to the hole, they don't really go through the pins. It just kind of
Yep.
deflects off of them because it sees
Yep.
it so early and it just hook stops.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. See, I think I've been a little bit more fortunate on short patterns because, well, I'm speed dominant for sure. And I have a lot of forward roll too, but I think because I have a lot of ball speed at the same time, it kind of helps like balance that out a little bit. I'm
Okay.
really good on short when I can play as far left as possible without seeing the ball hook at my absolute toes. So if I
Okay.
can see the ball get down lane and keep my angles closed, I'm going to be good that day for the most part. So,
That's pretty cool. The
yeah.
best ball that I've ever thrown on Cheetah was the BTU Pearl.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I actually, that was probably the best ball I ever thrown. I bought it from Pluta. I didn't re-drill it,
Heck
and I
yeah.
threw it like it was, and I think I shot like 17, and I called everybody I knew and told them. I was very excited. I never bowled good on that pattern, ever bowled good, and
That's
I called
awesome.
everybody.
I
Yeah,
remember
but
that
that was
ball
like
when
the
it
best
first
ball
came
I ever
out,
thrown.
the BTU. I remember that ball. It was stood for better than urethane. It was supposed to be
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
small mix of resin, and it was supposed to roll like urethane. Remember
yeah.
AJ Roach used to throw it all the time.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I actually just gave him my original one just
Oh,
recently.
really?
Yeah, I still got the pearl here. I just ain't gave it away. I think I'm gonna give it to Rick Wise. He wants one because that's all
Oh,
he's
yeah.
throwing these days. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, so I'll probably give that to him. But how many balls do you take to league versus a tournament?
I would say if it's something. Well, I mainly keep my bowling balls in the back of my car, so I usually just bring in 6 to league. And then if I'm going to a tournament, I'll kind of prepare my arsenal a little bit differently depending on what we're
Okay.
bowling on. Is what I like to take is I like to take about 7 balls of. So let's say the pattern's 35 feet, a shorter pattern. Let's say I'll bring like 7 balls that I think are going to match up, and then I'll bring like maybe 2 or 3 balls that might be the polar opposite of what I think I might see, if that makes any
Okay.
sense. So if
It
I'm not
does.
matching up with the arsenal that I think is going to match up, at least I have an off chance that one of those other 3 balls will match up or something like that.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'll just kind of go through the balls that I have drilled. I've got a rack in my shop at Maple City that holds like maybe 20 some balls or something, and I'll just kind of like sort those balls out with what's in my bags in my car and just kind of go through them that way.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. That's a good. Hey, that's good. And like when you get a new bowling ball, what are you looking for? Is there anything that you're looking for, or you just
Oh yeah, no, that's a really good question actually, because I just had this conversation with a guy I bowl with on Monday nights. So like every bowling ball company puts out good bowling balls. That's obviously no secret, but every bowling ball company puts out absolute duds too.
yeah,
So and
absolutely.
and now that I guess I'm not signing 900 Global anymore, but I threw their absolute truth, and that ball never hooked. I promise you, that ball went 60 feet. You could have put a 90-foot lane out there. That ball was never gonna hook. It was a
Wow.
dud. But they also made a honey badger. That ball was amazing. That's probably been one of the best bowling balls I've ever thrown. So every
Okay.
ball company makes good bowling balls. So I try to kind of take it with a grain of salt on how ball companies advertise their bowling balls, because there's been so many times that bowling ball companies talk about how good a ball is going to be, and then it comes out and ends up being a dud.
Oh
you know.
yeah.
And I think that's kind of determined by how the ball goes through the pins. There's been several bowling balls that you see, and it also depends on the bowler. Some bowlers are going to match up better with other bowling balls and such. But for my game specifically, I like to look to see what a lot of the guys on tour are throwing, because a lot of
Yeah.
the times what they're throwing on most of the national stops are going to be the bowling balls that are really good. For example, the
Okay.
Phase 2. It's not a brand new ball, but I bet everybody on Storm staff at the national events have 2 or 3 of them in their bags.
Oh
That ball's
yeah.
really, really good. Or a high
Yeah.
road or a high road pearl. There's a reason those balls are
Yeah.
still being thrown.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it kind of
Oh,
just depends. You kind of get the word around on what bowling balls are good and what bowling balls aren't good by traveling to tournaments and stuff like that. So you kind of get the insight on it, and then you can see more balls go down the lane, obviously, too. But yeah, that's kind of how I like to pick it, though. I like to kind of talk to some people and kind of watch how other people throw a particular ball before I'll just buy one. Yeah.
okay, that's cool. That's cool. I used to when I was younger and I was kind of like dumb to the game. I used to go by color.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
was like
big deal
started
too.
to the
Actually,
game.
now that you bring that up,
Yeah,
darker colored bowling balls, for whatever reason, I love throwing darker colored bowling balls.
yeah,
Like those strong neon balls, I don't feel like they see the friction consistently the same way. So I
yeah,
like throwing darker colored bowling balls. Like I don't even know what's a good example. That black like Phantom or whatever that Brunswick just
yeah,
released. That ball
yeah,
seems to see the pattern very consistently. The pitch black, that's another good one. The pitch purple. All those darker colored bowling balls just
yeah.
seem to see friction the same way every time. I don't know why, but they do.
I don't know. All my 300s are with black bowling balls, darker colored bowling
Really?
balls. All of them. I don't think I have a 300. Like I got 9, and I don't think I have a 300 with a light colored bowling ball. I don't believe
Isn't
so.
that weird?
I don't think so.
That's weird. Yeah. Now that you bring that up,
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
the jigsaw was marbled.
Oh yeah, the white and blue one, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
white and black one. It was
the
white
white and
and
black
black.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was.
I remember that ball.
What's
I'm
up,
trying to
Mark?
think of some neon colored bowling balls I've thrown. I guess the most colorful ball I've thrown the last couple of years that I scored a lot with was probably the Gold Rhino Pro, that vintage
Okay,
one.
yeah,
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 that one was just, that was a unique ball. That was a home run. That ball was good.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree. So, what is? I've seen you guys talking about this a little bit on Facebook, and
Yeah.
it just I had to ask this question because I'm like, so what is more important, matching up to the pattern or your talent level?
I think it's a decent mix, because a more talented bowler is going to find the right combination of how to get your hand out of the ball the right way, and ball speed has a huge factor as well. Good bowlers are going to find a way to match up more often than not. But there are going to be times where you go out and you're just dead out of the water. You got nothing. Your ball reaction's
Yeah,
terrible. And bad ball reaction will also cause you to throw the ball bad. It's
yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to thread a needle when the rest of the field is, just throwing it to the right and watching it strike.
yeah.
That will tense up your arm swing.
It will.
But more importantly, it's definitely about matching up. But I think more talented bowlers are going to find a way to match up more often than not. So
Totally agree there. Good answer. And so, how would you help others choose a benchmark bowling ball?
I would. Okay, so depending on their game, I got a guy. This is a great example actually. A benchmark ball for this one guy. He just came into my shop on last Monday, and his ball speed is super high, and his rev rate's super low. So he has a hard time getting balls to really corner hard, or to corner
Mhm.
really at all, for that matter. So his benchmark ball is going to be something way stronger than most people's. We ended up going with the proton physics, which is super strong. We put a lot of
Yeah,
surface on it. But for him, a benchmark ball is going to be a little bit stronger. So I think that's all inducive to your own game. For
okay.
me, it's bowling balls like the X2 from 900 Global, the vintage Danger Zone from Brunswick when that ball first came out. I like to throw symmetric balls with a lot of surface. Those are usually my benchmark balls. And then I'll throw some symmetric shiny stuff. Those are the little bit cleaner balls that are going to corner when my benchmark ball is seeing the friction too early. So, and then the asymmetric stuff, with my ball rolled so forward, it doesn't really get a whole bunch of play. So, but a lot of other bowlers, especially league bowlers, they have a lot more side roll, so they can get away with throwing asymmetric balls a lot more often. So a lot of times I'll recommend a benchmark ball of a lower asymmetric or a high-end symmetric ball for most bowlers. Yeah.
Okay. So I know we know this question, but we know you're a pro shop owner, but could you give us some pros and cons of being one?
Oh yeah, for sure I can. Yeah. So first of all, I love bowling. I've always loved bowling. So that part of it is fun. I really enjoy, like, my favorite thing ever is when you drill up a bowling ball and that bowler goes out there and, has a big set, or let's say they shoot 300 with it a couple weeks later. Like, that is an awesome feeling. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Or even for that matter, you drill up a ball for a guy and he shoots his first 300. Like, that's super
great.
cool, But the cons of it for me in my own personal situation is just the time and commitment it takes. Excuse me. I work a lot right now, and it's not necessarily that my hours are tough. I work from about 4:30 in the morning till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have the time, but I work in RV production, so I'm super tired after work, and sometimes it's just the last thing I want to go do. So that's kind of been the con for me right now and what I'm battling with. In years past, it was always time. I worked 9 to 5, and then as soon as I'd get off work at 5, I'd go straight to the bowling alley. So I guess for me, the cons have always been the time and commitment it takes, because it is a big commitment. You don't want to let people down. You want to be there for the bowlers of the bowling alley,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the biggest con is the time and the commitment that it takes.
And I would kind of figure that, because I know you love the game, you love helping people, so I would figure that would be the only con is just the time and the commitment. That's
for
pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what is your most memorable moment in your young bowling life?
Okay, yeah. There's two of them. I got one that's super, super cool. It would have been my second or third state tournament. I bowled with Mike English, John Pluta, Jeremy Delcamp, Steve Ironman, and who else was on our pair? There was two other bowlers. I think it was Tim Traxel and Dave Claxton. We bowled our singles and doubles set that day. And we bowled – did we bowl doubles first? I can't remember. I think we bowled doubles first. Or did we bowl – no, we bowled singles first. We bowled singles first, and I had like 720 or something. Nothing special there. But the first game of doubles, I shot 300, and John Pluta, my doubles partner, shot 279.
Wow.
So right after game one, we're thinking like, wow, we have a chance to win doubles this year. I think we bowled the last squad, or the second to last squad, and what was leading was 1494.
Okay.
So we came in, game one, shot 579. Game two, I think I had 230, and I think Pluta might have fell off a little bit the second game. But then the third game, we both had a chance. The situation was we both had to throw the first one in the 10th, or one of us had to double in the 10th. And I got up there and threw it first, and I six-pinned. And I remember being so nervous to throw at the six-pin because I didn't want to ruin the opportunity. If I miss this six-pin, then Pluta can't double to win. We would get second. And I remember I threw that ball like 9 miles an hour. I was so nervous to pick up the six-pin. And I spared the six-pin. And I don't remember what happened on the fill ball. But then Pluta had to get up there and double. And he threw the first one. And he threw the second one too. And I just remember being so excited for him. Like, that was such a cool moment to see him throw a double for us to win the doubles state title that year. And I don't remember what he did on the fill ball. He might have struck again, but we ended up shooting 1496. We won by 2 pins. So it wasn't like a huge victory, but him doubling the 10th was awesome. That was super cool to watch and be a part of,
That is cool. That is cool.
And the second one has got to be it's got to be winning my first regional. I was a non-member at the time, and I made the cut. And Tyler Wilde made the cut, which he's now probably one of my best friends now.
Yeah.
And I remember we both made the cut, and I was just talking to him, and we were on opposite sides of the bracket, and I was like, dude, we could see each other in the finals. How cool would that be? And we both had some pretty tough games. Neither one of us had any buys either, so we had to bowl like 6 matchups. So I mean, it was a long road to actually see the finals with each other. But it ended up working out that way. We bowled each other in the finals, and I ended up beating him in the finals. But yeah, that was super cool too. To share that moment with a close friend was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I remember watching that. Online. That was really cool to watch. I'm like,
oh yeah, that was what made it super special to me too. Was it was an extra frame event. So as it was happening, I remember I finished my semifinal matchup before the other semifinal match was going. So I was on my phone looking at Facebook and stuff, and I was tagged in millions of posts, and like it was such a cool feeling to have so much local support. I think Mark Million even tried taking his phone to his computer and live streaming it onto Facebook, and the guys that run Extra Frame got upset at him for it. But
they did.
You know, he was just excited to see a local bowler, you know, having the opportunity to win a regional, because that's you know, we've only had a handful of guys. We'll have I think there's a couple of guys that definitely could in our area, and I'm sure they will in the future. But you know, we've only had 3 or 4 guys in our area that have won regionals, so it's pretty cool to see a local bowler have success on that level. And I think everybody was just so excited about it, and so was I. So being on Facebook, reading all those comments and stuff was awesome.
It was. That was really cool. And that story about you and John Pluta, me and AJ was in the same predicament.
Oh,
but
really?
It didn't go our way. We ended up getting second. And the scores were ridiculous high that year. Like, I don't know what. Oh, they were ridiculous. I had 777, and AJ had like 760, and we got second.
What? And you got second with that?
They were ridiculous. What year was that, babe? I can't even remember what year that was. It was the year that Green Mastermind came out.
Oh, that might have been a little bit before I was in adult leagues. I remember that ball though. That Mastermind. I think it was a Mastermind Genius. I think.
Yeah, I absolutely hated that ball after that. Like, it literally struck anywhere I threw it that day. And after that, I couldn't get the ball to go through the pins the right way. But it was brand new in the box. I went out there not knowing what the ball was going to do. I was actually not feeling well. And I go out there and literally throw the ball anywhere, and it struck. Like, literally struck. Wherever AJ threw the ball at, it struck until the last, like, 3 frames. We got nervous, dude. I think I threw, like, I should have shot easy 800. I think I split it the last 3 frames for, like,
for 770.
Dude, 770.
Oh man,
it was terrible. I was so nervous, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, dude, I'm nervous. He's like, dude, me too. Like, it was bad, dude. It was bad.
Dude,
we ended up missing it by like 25 pins, dude. It was.
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah,
that is tough.
I made a ton of money that year, like a ton of money that year.
Oh, and like side pots and brackets and stuff.
Yeah.
Were you guys also part of the Wally squad or whatever? Oh man, that squad was awesome for state tournament.
I made a ton of money that year, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My wife was like, "Where you got this money from?" I was like, "I bowled like really, really well."
That's awesome.
Really well, yeah. It was cool, dude. That was like really, really good year for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So how many 300s and 800s do you have?
I'm not quite sure on the exact number. I haven't filled out all the papers to all my honor scores either, but so an exact number, if I had to guess, it's got to be like 30 or 40 300s, maybe like 20 to 25 800s ish, somewhere in that number. I might be a little high, but that's just a roundabout guess. The first year I bowled adult leagues, or maybe it's the second year, I had 8 at Country Club and 8 at Signature. So there was 16 just in that year.
Wow.
I was bowling a ton that year, though. I mean, any opportunity I had to sub, I'd do it. I think I was even bowling some leagues on the weekends, just subbing for people and stuff. I probably had, I don't even know. I bet I had over 300 to 400 sanctioned games that year. It was insane. I bowled a lot that year.
Wow.
So,
I
but yeah, and I haven't, it's kind of funny too. I haven't really had any honor scores in the last maybe year. I mean, I shot 300 over the summer once, and I think I had one 300 last year. But other than that, I really haven't bowled that well. Well, I bowled well, but I haven't had any honor scores recently.
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, in fact, right now at Maple City, I think I'm 235 or 234, and my highest set is, well, now after Monday, I shot 758, but before that, it was only 725.
Okay.
So I was 234 with a high set of 725.
Oh, you've just been really consistent.
Yeah, nothing huge, but nothing bad either. Yeah.
I really, really, really like that place a lot. Like I really threw the ball well the other day there.
Oh yeah, Sunday there. Yeah, dude, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you, the house pattern there this year is easy. It's the ball gets through the fronts really well, and
Really well.
the ball continues through the pins.
Yeah, it does.
Because you and I have pretty similar characteristics. You have a lot of forward roll, so you need your ball to go through the fronts, and I think that's might be part of the reason we both struggle at Chippewa as well. Is there's a ton of friction at Chippewa this year for whatever reason. If I move right, and for the right-handers you guys move left, the ball just never hooks. And then if you kind of square up, the ball literally hooks as soon as it hits the lane.
It does, exactly.
So I've been struggling there a lot.
Yeah.
What the heck is my cat doing?
Yeah. It's very, but I was so impressed with how I was really able to pull out any ball in my bag and strike with it. Sunday, like really, I could anything I really wanted to do because we ended up getting stuck on 1 and 2.
Yeah,
and
I do remember that.
One literally didn't seem like it was oil, so I was literally gutter capping it from the game 1, like game 1 over the gutter cap game 1. Yeah, dude. Had to throw it over the gutter cap. It's on video. Literally, it was actually hooking. Nobody on our pair could control it. But I had to bowl with Chad, and he don't put much on the ball, so he stroked it on that lane until I really figured it out what to do. We bowled pretty well. It was fun.
Yeah. What ended up happening to you guys in match play on Sunday?
We ended up bowling. A team was given 30 pins, and they couldn't miss.
Yeah. Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, we gave them 36 pins, and I think they shot. They had like back-to-back 250 scratch. So it's like,
jeez.
Yeah.
So they had a monster.
Yeah, there really wasn't nothing we could do. They both had both 170 average bowlers, and they couldn't miss either one of them.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is what it is.
Yep.
So, what is your highest 800 series? And how did you feel when you shot it?
My highest 800 is 867, and I started that set with 299, 299, 269.
Wow.
It was only like my third set in adult leagues. I was 17 at the time, and I shot 299. Actually, this is pretty crazy, but it was with the Gold Rhino Pro. It was back when country clubs still had wood, and I was practicing on 3132 with Chris Hartung right before city tournament started. Like an hour before it started. In the last game of Chris and I's practice, I shot 300. And then the first game of city tournament, I shot 299. And then the second game, I shot 299. Wow. So if you had put those 3 games together, it would have been 898,
Wow.
But my game 3 was 269, and I was super, super on cloud 9. I don't even know how to explain what I was feeling, but it was like, I remember in the middle of game 3, I was bowling Mike English. It was doubles. And in the middle of game 3, I was like, dude, I've never thrown the ball this good in my life. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I couldn't throw a bad shot, and everything was striking. It was super crazy. It was one of those days where, like, everything just clicks. You just feel like you're super in the zone.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. So what's the difference between bowling a local tournament versus bowling out on the regional tour?
I would definitely say Well, first of all, the our regional talent is insane. The PBA regional talent is insane. I mean, you can't even go to too many local events that there's not a PBA titleist in the field. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
But on the PBA regional level, heck, there was one year. There was one year in Angola. There was like 12 guys that made the cut. Or maybe it wasn't Angola. I don't remember which event it was, but there was an event where there was only 12 cut spots available, and 8 out of the like 60 bowlers in the field were national tour titleists. So,
Wow.
so there was only 4 spots. You felt like there was only 4 spots available. You know what I mean? Like it was just insane. So
That
our
is
our
that
regional
is
tour is incredible. Back when Ronnie Russell used to bowl a lot.
yeah.
EJ doesn't bowl as many regional events now, but it used to be like Ronnie Russell, EJ Tackett. Who else was in that mix? Dave Wadka was here for a while.
Oh,
Diana Zajlova,
yeah.
Simonelli used to bowl most of our events. Chris Lowshetter, Graham Fa. I
Wow.
mean, those are just some of the bigger names. But there's even some
Yeah.
regional guys that have unreal talent. Like a lot of guys don't know Kyle Mayberry or Kyle Cook or those guys from Ohio, but those guys
Yeah.
seem to be in every regional cut. And yeah, they just have a lot of talent. So our regional talent is insane. We have a lot of local talent as well. But a lot of the local events are also on a little bit easier patterns, like house. It seems like anytime we put out anything harder, we don't get as many people, um,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird because we do the New Year's Eve thing at Parkway that seems to get like 60 people some years, it seems like, or 40
Yeah.
or 50 or whatever that number was that one year. And it's just really weird. But somebody can throw together an event, advertise it like crazy on social media. But if you say you're putting out sport, a lot of people won't show up. And I don't know what the reason is for that, but that's just how our area is. Yeah. House seems to attract more bowlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Totally agree. So, how do you feel about two-handed bowling?
Oh yeah. So that's a good question because I've bowled two-handed. I actually bowled almost the entire season last year two-handed. And I started this year maybe the first 7 or 8 weeks bowling two-handed this year. And well, it can be frustrating for sure to bowl against because you can see these guys just kind of stand left, throw right, and their pocket looks huge, you know?
Yeah.
Like Richie Benninghoff's a perfect example. He's got a lot of talent. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
There are some nights where I'm watching him bowl and I'm like, is it even possible for him to miss? You know, like
Yeah.
he just got to throw it left and hit the pocket or throw it right and
Yeah.
hit the pocket. He's got a lot of
Yeah.
talent. I ain't taking anything away from him like that
Yeah.
because he's good. But there are some
Yeah.
nights I'm watching him bowl like, and I think to myself, how will I ever beat that guy on house conditions? You know,
Yeah.
because he's already good. Let alone
Yeah.
we give him a decent amount of room to miss. Well,
Yeah.
heck, I don't even feel like I have a chance now because his
Yeah.
carry percentage is high. You know.
Yeah. It is.
So,
It
but
is.
when I was bowling two-handed, I kind of noticed the same thing. But on the other hand, though, I will say I think it's harder to make shots two-handed.
Yeah.
Maybe for me because I didn't grow up doing it. Maybe that might be the case. But yeah, because I throw the ball decent two-handed, not perfect by any means, but I throw it good enough to where the point where I should see consistent ball reaction. But I think
Yeah.
sometimes just getting out of the ball just a little different seems to really amplify what happens down lane. If I get out of it a little bit more sideways, that ball goes 90 degrees at the end of the pattern.
Wow.
So I think that's the biggest difference, though, and I just don't see it as much, and that's why Richie's as good as he is because he gets out of the ball the same way a lot. You know, he
Yeah.
does. He's not very inconsistent at the bottom. So
Not at all.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We got here. Who are your top five local bowlers?
Top 5 local bowlers. Man, I'm gonna have somebody upset at me on this one. I know. Well, let's
That's
see.
what
When I
that's what my
when I
wife
was
said.
growing up, man, that's tough. So as of right now, on a current state, although TJ Schmidt doesn't bowl very much, this is in no particular order, but he's got to be
Yeah.
in that mix. TJ has to be in that mix, even though he
Yeah.
doesn't bowl much local right now. Him, I definitely got to throw Mikey there. He strikes a ton and
Yeah.
bowls everything. He's got a lot of raw talent.
Yeah.
Let me think of some other ones in there. Definitely those two. I want to throw Delcamp in there, but he doesn't really bowl anymore, so I'm not going to put
Yeah.
him in there. Oh man, local bowlers. I got to throw Richie in there. He strikes a
Yeah.
lot. Shoot. Who else is in that mix? If we're just talking like house conditions, I got to put Zach Hagee in that mix.
Okay.
He strikes forever on house.
Yeah.
I bowled 2 different leagues with him, and yeah, he strikes a lot.
Yeah.
Man, there's got to be some I'm missing. Please forgive me, anybody that
It's a
sees
tough
this
question.
that I miss. Oh man, because this is tough because we have a lot of talent in
Yeah.
our area.
We totally do.
And I will say the one year that Mark Million won Bowler of the Year for the NBAs, I would definitely have put him in the mix.
Yeah.
He's having a rough year this year, but he even averaged like 230, I think, 2 years ago at Chippewa. So I think Mark Million could be in that mix too. There are probably 20 different names you could put there, but
Oh yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of talent, and I really
It
like his
is.
ball roll. Mark's ball roll is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. So what about top 5 PBA guys right now?
Oh man, that one's a little bit easier actually. PBA guys, I would say Jason Belmonte, EJ Tackett for sure. I mean, they're shoo-ins.
Yeah.
Who's a guy making a lot of shows recently? It's been tough too because we've had COVID, so we haven't really seen a lot of bowling lately
Yeah.
either. So definitely those two. Jacob Butteriff could be in that mix when the left side's in play. It's
Yeah.
it's really hard to put a perspective on any left-hander being the top on tour because I feel like there's a lot of events where they are almost shut out. So it's hard to throw them in the mix.
Mhm.
But what's another? Anthony Simonson. I got to throw him
Yeah.
in there. He makes a
Yeah.
lot of
Really good
shows.
boy.
Young too. Let's see. What's another guy bowling really, really well right now? Chris Prather for sure.
Yeah. That's somebody just said that on Facebook. Prather. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Prather for
Yeah.
sure.
I
He's
totally agree. I like
probably
Prather.
between him and EJ, I would say, are probably the best one-handed bowlers on tour right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
EJ's just got a sick level of talent. He can do anything he wants with a bowling ball.
Yeah.
And Chris Prather, I love his game. I've only even gotten to meet him. I didn't even meet him, but I bowled next to him a couple times at a national stop. And I remember it was like game like 13 or 14, and he shot like 126. And he wasn't even mad about it. I thought after seeing him shoot like 120, he was way out of the number. I went to go look at the standings, and the dude's in like 4th.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, what the heck? But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
he's got a lot of talent.
That's crazy right there. Well, I only got a few more questions for you, but
Yeah.
if you're bowling a 5-man team tournament for $1 million, what four local bowlers are you taking with you?
Okay. I guess, what are we bowling on? Are we bowling on house?
No, we're bowling on sport.
Oh, we're bowling on sport. Okay. Bowling on sport. Local bowlers. I got to take Jeremy Delcamp. The reason being for Jeremy is he always picks up his spares and doesn't really split very often. He makes good shots. I would probably bring. Oh man, that's a tough one. Bowling on sport, that's a tough one. I would like to bring probably Tyler Wilds as well. He keeps the ball in play a lot. Shoot. I know I'm missing some guys here. Is it just one game or just bowling one game for $1 million?
We bowl 3 games. So
I bowl 3 games. All right. I would want to bring Richie, but he's gonna be good when they start to open up a little bit.
Yeah.
When they start to open up a little bit and he can throw it to the right, he strikes a lot. So I would love to bring him. Man, there's gonna be some guys I'm missing out. I'm gonna say this and then think about a better answer later and regret not saying their name. I already know it. But so probably those guys, and let's see, I need one more here. I like AJ Roach's game on sport. He's pretty smart too. I mean, he knows the game a little bit at least. Yeah. So those are probably the 4 I can think of off the top of my head as of now. There are names I'm missing. I know it, but I just
Yeah,
can't think
it
of them
is.
on the
It's
spot
hard on
right
the
now.
spot. It's hard on the spot.
Yeah.
So, are you looking to win out on tour, or are you satisfied where you at?
I'm pretty satisfied where I'm at. The national tour, the regional tour, and the national tour are two completely different animals. I said earlier that the regional tour, that one time there was 8 guys. There was, I felt like there was 4 cut spots open or whatever. But when you go onto the national tour, that's a whole different level. Those guys are insanely good. Joe Schmoes don't make TV shows. It just
Yeah.
doesn't happen. There's a reason you see so many guys on shows. It's because they're that good. You
Uh,
know. So I'm pretty content. I've bowled one national stop. It was actually more of a super regional than a national stop. It was a $300 entry, I think, and it was in Aurora, Illinois, and it was a weird format too. So we bowled 16 games, and so there was 4 bowlers on every pair, and you moved pairs every game. You changed, and the right lane always moved right, and the left lane always moved left. It was a super weird format. I don't think they've ever done it before, and I don't think they'll ever do it again. But so for every bowler you beat on your pair, you got an extra 10 bonus pins for 16 games. So there was a chance if you shoot 230 and you beat all 3 guys on your pair, you actually shot 260. So yeah, so it was a unique format. I missed that cut and we bowled on 38 feet, I think, both days, just different volumes. And I missed the cut by 120 pins over 16 games plus bonus pins. So I only really missed the cut by an average of like 6 or 7 pins a game. It wasn't much. Yeah, but there were some bonus pins I got in there. But the format was really weird too because the approaches were super sticky, I remember, and guys were having problems sliding. And a little bit older guys or guys that were having knee problems or stuff like that, they dropped out of the event pretty early. So it put a buy on some pairs. So if you crossed with that buy, you got an automatic free 10 pins.
Okay.
So it was kind of a weird format. I didn't really like it very much. It just felt like if you saw enough buys, I mean, you're getting 30, 40 more pins than some guys without even doing anything. So.
Oh, wow.
But it was unique. It was different. It was kind of cool.
That's cool. That's cool. Last and final question. After it's all said and done, do you see yourself coaching or will you even be involved in bowling?
Oh, when it's all said and done, oh man, I don't really ever see myself being a coach. I've tried coaching like youth bowlers, or I even actually, it's kind of funny, my senior year of high school, I actually coached Memorial High School boys, the bowling team. I coached them my senior year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately I went to Edwardsburg, so I didn't have a high school team.
Oh.
But I wanted to be involved, so I kind of did that my senior year. And I knew the guys that were my friends as well. So, but I tried it, and I just didn't really enjoy it too much. I don't know why, but I like bowling. That's what I like doing. I like bowling, and I like running the pro shop. But even then, I still don't see myself doing that super long term.
Yeah.
What I love about bowling is just bowling. I don't know. I don't really just enjoy coaching that much, but I don't see myself ever really getting out of it. I've thought to myself when I think everybody has, though, when you're slumping for a really long time, it's kind of like you kind of have that thought in your head of like, I want to just quit, because it sucks when you're never bowling to what you feel like your potential is, And so I've had that thought, but I don't think I'll ever quit. I mean, it's just too much fun. Too many friends out there now too.
It is. It is. It is. I know it can get frustrating sometimes, and we say, "Oh, I quit," but we all come back anyways.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. Especially last year at Chippewa was probably the worst season of my life. I think I only averaged like 218 or something. And I think that might have been the only league I bowled last year. I only bowled one league last year. And I think I was 218, and I was so frustrated with bowling. Like, I'm 20 pins down from where I'm normally at. I was just having it rough. Yeah. This year I'm only 215 at Chippewas as well, but we've messed around a lot of weeks. I bowled two-handed the first half of our weeks, so I can't be too upset. But yeah, that's definitely tough. But I don't see myself ever quitting. It's just too much fun. We got too many friends, and that's the thing I look forward to on the week, especially if I sub on Fridays. To see you guys all out there on Fridays, and we always have a good time. People Well, people take me a little too serious sometimes, but I'm just there to have fun.
Hey, that's what it is about. It's supposed to be about fun, anyways.
For
I mean,
sure.
it's not super. I mean, it's not really a super competitive league like that, anyways. I mean,
Right. Yeah,
it
it's
used to
competitive
be.
to an extent, but
Yeah,
at the end
it
of the
used
day, it
to
is
be.
just a bowling league.
Yeah, it's still just a bowling league at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I know it's all in fun. We can't take it so serious to where it ain't no fun in it anymore, right?
Right. No, not at all. And that's kind of when you stop wanting to do it is when you're not having fun with it anymore. You know?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was kind of asking some of the guys in the chat, did they have any questions for you before we wrap this thing up? Did
Oh
they
yeah.
have any questions? Because I know I see Mark was in the comments, Dustin he was in the comments. I can't really see see their Facebook names. It just
Oh,
says
okay.
it says Facebook user.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I
Yeah.
can't see the comments at all through here. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah. It says Facebook
But
user.
I guess there's something I'd like to touch up on real quick.
Okay,
Actually,
what?
it's a
Yeah,
been a pretty hot topic, I guess, the last couple of days.
come on.
The left-hander versus right-hander argument that we've been
Yeah.
having recently. Oh man. How this all stemmed out was I bowled the New Year's Eve thing on that Mark Million put on it at Chippewa or whatever.
Okay.
And I bowled next to Travis Wise and I bowled with Tony Hardiman. Those were the three guys that were in my vicinity. And it just felt like we had nothing out there. I threw the ball left and it hangs. If I miss in, it hooks early and I big four. So like I'm missing it left, I'm washing out, but I'm missing it right and I'm big fouring. And my head's about to explode. I'm so frustrated. And then I'm watching these right-handers in the middle of game 2 or late game 2, beginning of game 3, and they're just like throwing it to the right. It's hooking in the right spot. They have what felt like infinite miss. So I made that Facebook post that said something about the right-handers have it so easy. And I mean, you know how it is, man. They
Yeah.
love to hear it. They love to hear it.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty I think it's a lively argument because a lot of the guys on tour talk about it as well. It's unique actually. The national tour stopped last year. The first like 3 events, there weren't even left-handers in the cut, and then they had, I think it was the event in Arlington. I can't remember the exact order, but I think it was Arlington. There was 3 left-handers that made the show. Well, now everybody sees those 3 left-handers make the show, and it's, oh, left-handers have it so easy. Left-handers have it so easy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like some weeks when we match up on the fresh, it is easy. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, both the regional events that I won, I don't think I necessarily would have won them if I was right-handed. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit that, but I think there are times where the right-handers are able to open up a pattern and make it easier for themselves for sure.
Yeah.
And unfortunately too, like a lot of what we bowl on around here is all on house, so. Obviously, left-handers have an advantage on house. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't make it easier than what it already is.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's a really good debate going on, I guess, right now in my life. I hear it almost every day after making that Facebook post.
I just think it all just depends on what we bowl on. That's all.
Absolutely.
It all depends on, because I mean, and then again, like of course you're gonna make it look easy. You have talent. I watch some lefties bowl on house, and it don't look so easy because they don't have the talent.
For sure.
It just don't. I mean, so
For sure.
it's just, I guess all that, what I'm saying, ties into it as well. I mean,
for sure. Yeah, no, and then when I say that, I don't want to take anything away from anybody. That's not what I'm saying, because you have to have some level of talent to throw a bowling ball, okay?
Yeah, you do.
Joe Schmo off the street that's never bowled before is not going to pick up a bowling ball and have the right touch to make it strike. I'm not saying that right-handers aren't as good as me. Obviously, that would be dumb.
Yeah.
But I feel that there are times it's more of me saying I feel like there are times I feel shut out. I feel like I have no chance.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking anything away from right-handers. They have their own talent on their own level. That is what that is. So I'm not taking anything away from anybody like that. It obviously takes talent to throw a bowling ball. And most guys in our area have a decent level of talent.
Yeah.
Our area is pretty competitive.
Yeah, it is. And I could say that as being a four roller too. I feel the same way. I feel like sometimes there's nothing there for me. There's
Yeah,
absolutely nothing there for me. I mean, there's a flat 10 there for me, but there's nothing other than that there for me. I can't. It's like impossible to get the ball to go through the pins right. Like I've
yeah,
been in
yeah,
those. I've had those nights, and
absolutely.
guys look at me. They're like, "Dude, why don't you just go home?" And I'm like, "Dude, I want to get this ball to go through the
Yeah,
pins right. I'm trying
exactly.
everything I possibly know, and I'm not dumb to this game. I mean,
No, right.
so, but
Well,
I
and
knew
that's the
exactly.
thing too. It dates back to that question we were just talking about matching up. There are some days that you match up so well, even on sport. I mean, bowling in today's game isn't so much about making good shots. I mean, you got to make decent shots, but if you're matched up with the right ball and the right pattern, and you have everything lined up, it's just you have more miss room.
Yeah,
And that's just a fact. So what it looks like is when people get matched up and it looks like they have the whole lane, it's just because they're matched up really well, and they're touching the ball good at the bottom. That's a big thing too. At the bottom of your swing, if you can make those last second adjustments to get the ball to go where it needs to go, that's another level of talent as well. So
you're so correct. I totally agree.
kind of funny as I was talking there, I got a text from Joey Martin. It popped down from my phone, and he said, "I'm going to be that guy and say something about you not including me." That's pretty funny.
And Mike on here, he said, "Oh, here we go, Mike Trail."
That's awesome. That's awesome. Uh, it's all in good fun though. When I'm poking
It
fun
is.
about it locally, it just is what it
Yeah,
is. Like obviously it adds to some level of frustration, but it's nothing personal. It's
yeah,
all just us having fun. Or me having
yeah,
fun, I
it is.
guess.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I totally agree. I totally agree. I was also asking anybody if anybody in the chat have any questions, you're welcome to ask him. He's here. If not, we can wrap this thing up. I don't want to take up all your time. For doing this. This was really fun. Really
Oh
fun.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed this a
Yeah,
lot actually.
yeah. I
Yeah, no, thanks
appreciate
for
it.
inviting me. I think it's been a good
Oh,
time.
not a problem, dude. Definitely down the line, if you want to come back again, you're very welcome to come back again. We can, hey, whatever. It don't matter to me. We'll figure
Awesome.
out something to
Cool,
do.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know, if, Mike. You have any questions? Anybody have any questions in the chat before we were? He said thoughts on being a thing banger.
Oh man, that's another good topic, man. I could talk about that one forever. Oh man, that's a good one.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah. All right. So this is another one too, I guess. This is very similar to the right-handed versus left-handed thing for me. Is all right. So I don't really feel like I hit up on the ball a lot. So urethane for me just doesn't continue down lane. I flat seven a lot, and I drilled 2 or 3 different purples. They all rolled like crap for me. None of them rolled good. Urethane just didn't roll good for me. But urethane allows bowlers to hit up on the ball so much and still find hold that it does frustrate me at times. Because with the resin that we bowl with in today's game, like you're not really meant to hit up on the ball. The ball hooks. They make balls that hook. You know what I mean? So hitting up on a ball feels so wrong. It feels like you shouldn't do it. But urethane allows guys to hit up on it, you know, hit up on it all the way to the moon. It's not going to overhook, It's so that is my level of frustration. Is you're not supposed to hit up on a bowling ball, but urethane allows you to do it.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, like good bowlers use it as a tool, and then I don't want to say bad, use it as a crutch. That's my opinion on it, and that's a lot of people won't agree with me, and that's fine. But
I absolutely hate urethane.
me too, yeah,
Buys it. I love Mark. I love you, Mark. But
yeah, for
Mark
sure.
destroys my line. Mark tortures me every time I bowl him. I'm like, Mark, do you have to throw that ball? So
Do you
now,
really have to?
so now every time I bowl him, do I throw 240? Every time I bowl him, I'm like, dude, I'm throwing 240 grit, dude. I have no choice. And he absolutely hates it. Like he hates it. I have to
That's
throw
funny.
240 grit because Mark. I have to, dude. Like that's the only thing that I can throw that I can actually keep. I can strike with when he's throwing
Yeah,
your. I don't
yeah.
understand it. I just cannot. And when I go around it, it seems like it hooks too much. When I go up it, when I go up it, it just kind of goes straight.
Right.
It's
Right.
so weird, man. I go around urethane where he's throwing it at, it hooks off the spot. I'm like,
Just face
so,
palming.
yeah. So
Well, that's the
urethane
thing
just
about urethane too is I actually I read an article that well I don't know if it was an article as much as it was of just people talking, but a lot of guys on tour will say that urethane ruins the integrity of a pattern faster than a resin ball, and I think I'm I'm fairly confident that's probably true because urethane is so quick to pick up oil and store it on the cover. So it's going to pick the oil up in the fronts immediately because it hooks early. Urethane hooks
yeah,
early. So it's going to pick that oil up immediately, but it's going to deposit it down lane. So that's where it creates so much. That's the one thing about being right-handed too. You get one guy on your pair that's playing them wrong. It makes it frustrating.
so
Um,
bad.
but yeah, that's the thing with urethane. You can't just move left to get away from the hook because then your ball bails down lane, and you can't like straighten up on it either because then the ball hooks at your toes. Like
Yeah,
it really does ruin the integrity of a
it
pattern.
does. It does. But even as accurate as Mark is with urethane, I mean, it still ruins it for me. But just to get a guy on my pair that's all over the place with it
Right.
is 5 times worse.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the one. That's the nice thing about being left-handed. That I don't really put up with that too much. I'm lucky to have, or I mean, I'm unlucky if I get 3 left-handers on my pair a night. It just
yeah,
doesn't happen. So, and we don't really deal with that too much. So I don't see that a ton at some regionals and some shorter patterns. Pretty much the entire field will throw urethane except me. I don't know why, but urethane just doesn't roll good. So I'll kind of
yeah,
get that in some regionals on shorter patterns, but yeah, I don't see that too much. So I don't exactly have the insight on that one.
yeah. I know. I mean, like I said, besides Mark, I don't feel like he should throw urethane on a house shot.
Yeah.
Mark is different. He has a different ball roll. That's what works for him. I mean, but
Well,
it's
it's what
some
he's done for a long time.
it is. He's
I
used
mean,
to it. That's what,
right. The year he won Bowler of the Year for the NBAs, I'm pretty sure he threw urethane most of that year, if not all
yeah, he
year.
did. Yeah,
And obviously he matched up with it. So
yeah,
he should be throwing it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But there are times, there are bowlers that I think could be scoring higher or, I mean, at the minimum, the same if they just threw some resin instead of urethane. But
yeah,
and I feel like there's also a lot of bowlers too that are so heavy in the mindset of I have to throw urethane, but I don't really know why. It doesn't. I think a lot of it relates to what I was saying earlier. Is you can kind of hit up on it and you see hold, but if you're in the right bowling ball, you can do that too. So,
yeah.
but
So
yeah, there
yeah,
are a lot of guys that have the mindset of I have to throw urethane, and I don't think that's a very good mindset. You want to have your mind pretty open when you go into even league, because your league pattern plays different every day.
yeah,
So
it does. It does. Especially Chippewa.
yeah, especially Chippewa, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
for sure. Well, and a lot of
yeah.
that has to do with lane topography as well.
Yeah, it
So
does. Totally
um,
agree.
there's so many factors that go into oiling lanes to see them the same way. I mean, humidity levels, how long the pattern sat there for.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's so many different things. I mean, heck, even not maintaining your lane machine. I made the comment about Signature not maintaining their lane machine as strongly than this year and last year. That just is what it is. The more you maintain it, the more consistent your pattern's going to be. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty standard, pretty obvious. So once you kind of let it go, your machine's not going to clean the lanes as well. It's not going to lay out the pattern the same way as well. It's just is what it is.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So, do we have any more other questions in the end? That was a really, really good question to ask.
Yeah, that was a good question. Yeah.
It was. That was a really good question. Any more questions, guys? Like I said, I don't have any more questions right off the top of my head. So if you have any more questions, come with them because that was a really good one, Mike. Really,
Yeah,
really good.
I like that one because that was a big topic about a year ago on Facebook. We had that huge blow up Facebook post about it was something to do with urethane. I don't remember the post. I could find it if I looked way back, but it blew up on Facebook. It was a debate on whether urethane. I think it was whether urethane should be a part of the game or whether it should be banned. I think it was when Sean Rash made the comment actually on a podcast. That's when it was. He made something about how he felt urethane was like cheating or like whatever.
Yeah, Rash absolutely hates urethane.
Yeah, yep. I remember that blowing up. He made a comment about it, and I don't remember whose post it was, but it came into this big heated argument or debate or whatever on Facebook that everybody was talking about whether urethane should be banned or whether it should be in play and blah blah blah. And there's lots of different opinions on it, and nobody's necessarily wrong. It's just how you view it, I guess. You know.
Yeah. Yep. One. I was looking at the comments on Facebook. Oh, that was Aaron Lance that was commenting on Facebook. I couldn't tell who it was. Yeah. And Micah said that they bowled the same team we bowled Sunday, and they did them the same way. They bowled
No
well.
way.
Yeah, they did them the same way. So
Dang.
it happens.
It does happen, you know, and that's the thing too. Like, and you can't really be too upset about it because you walk into the event knowing there's a chance that'll happen. You know, and it is frustrating when it does happen, but it is what it is. We had a pretty tough road. We bowled Lee Farrell and Dave Anderson in the first round, and they both strike a decent amount on house, especially. And we got fortunate against them. They just we gave them a chance the second game. We got fortunate. They gave it back to us. So we won that match, and then we had to bowl Drew and Mikey. And we actually had a chance to win in the 10th frame of the second game. I just needed a double in the 10th, and I threw the first shot in the 10th so terrible. I don't know where in the world that ball was going, but it wasn't striking. So we ended up losing that match. But yeah, I don't even know who ended up winning the event. That event ran pretty late. I don't think I got home till like 8 o'clock, and I live right next door to the bowling alley.
Yeah. I don't know the guys, but when I see their face, actually one of the guys who won, I don't know him from a hole in the wall, and
Really?
he messaged. Yeah, I don't know him. And he messaged me. It was like, "Hey man, I saw you at the bowling alley. You're a good bowler, man. Keep doing what you're doing." But we won. I'm like, "Congratulations, man." I've never seen a guy in my life.
Yeah, maybe if I
Never.
saw him, I would know him. But yeah, I didn't know who it was. I didn't see the post or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I may be able to see his name really quick. His name is Matt Patrick.
Oh, I know Matt Patrick. I know who that is. He's from Auburn-ish, Fort Wayne area, I think. I could be wrong on that, but I know who it is now. He bowled with Joey Glover.
Yep, they end up winning.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen them around before. They used to bowl the Auburn King of the Hill events.
Okay.
Yeah, those used to be awesome events.
Yeah,
that used to be some of my first competitive events. Actually, I went there with Mike English a lot back when he used to bowl a lot. Yeah, those events used to be awesome. Now they're non-existent. What's that?
Is Mike bowling at all anymore?
I don't think he bowls at all this year. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened to his bowling game, but well, it was kind of weird too. Last year, I don't know what happened at Country Club, but I guess their lane machine had some problems or something, and Country Club's normally a relatively easier house. Yeah. I think high average in the entire center was only 220 or something. It was way down for Country Club. And Mike was only averaging like 205 or something. And I think that kind of just disappointed him. And so I don't think he was having as much fun doing it either. But yeah, I think he could come back out and on house average 230 if he actually tried, you know? Yeah. But I don't think he has the drive to do it right now. It might come back too. That's how bowling is, you know. Like I said earlier, we all go through it where sometimes you just don't want to do it. You know, you're kind of disappointed in your own game, and maybe you just need a break. You know. Yeah. So.
Totally agree. I know I had point in my little time period where I wanted to quit. I was just throwing the ball that bad. I was just like, man, I'm gonna quit. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I've been there as well. And one of the biggest things in my game that it happens every once in a while is just like I feel like my flat spot doesn't exist anymore. Like it happens rare, but when it does happen, I don't feel like I can fix it without taking a break. Like I have to
Yeah,
take a break to let my body reset. It's weird. I don't even know why it happens, but every once in a while my timing must get off in just a couple of seconds or something to where I feel like when I miss left, I hit up on the ball like crazy and on house and it'll overhook. And then when I miss one in, I'll miss it at the bottom and it'll just go 60 feet, you know?
yeah,
So my flat spot goes from, always touching the ball the right way to literally doing the complete opposite of what I should be doing.
yeah,
So, and I don't know why sometimes that happens in my game, but that's frustrating for me. That makes me want to quit when I start feeling that
yeah.
way. So, and usually if I take a break for a week or two, my body will reset and I'll be a lot closer when I come back. Yeah,
That's good. That's really good.
for sure.
Sometimes you have to take that time off to kind of um, reverse your mental a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably more so for it,
Hmm.
because once you start struggling, I remember when I was struggling for weeks on end, I'm telling myself, I'm going to go to league and I'm going to focus this week and make good shots. And I almost feel like I was just trying too hard to
Yeah.
bowl myself out of the slump, because slumps happen. It's just a
It
matter
does.
of, well, bowling itself is a roller coaster. You're going to have moments where, that's the thing, I guess. You got to ride the highs as long as you can and get out of the lows as you can, because
Right.
that's how bowling is. But yeah, I've definitely been there. It sucks.
Yeah.
But
It
I'm
does.
part of our group, though. I'm excited to see back. Jeremy just picked up a bowling ball here recently. He's been bowling a couple events here and there. So
It was awesome. I was awesome to see him Sunday, man. I hadn't seen him in so long.
right,
It's
yeah,
awesome to see him.
yeah,
Jeremy's a really good bowler, man.
awesome. Yeah, he people actually don't know this, but in 2008 he actually won the PBA Regional Rookie of the Year.
Really?
Never won a regional, but he made a lot of cuts that year. Yeah, and he was high points, I think, for that year for all the rookies. So he won the
Yeah, that's
2008
awesome.
PBA Regional Rookie of the Year. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
That
When
is,
I came out of my rookie year, I won an event. Well, it's kind of weird actually. So I won my first event as a non-member. It was a regular event. I won it as a non-member though, so it didn't technically count as a PBA title. But
yeah.
then I won my when I won my second event, it was a non-champs, and that one did count as a PBA title. It was just kind of weird, but the non-champs don't count for points. So
Okay.
I lost PBA Regional Rookie of the Year to a couple of guys actually. I think I was third or fourth on points actually,
That's cool.
even with winning a regional that year. I think Kyle Cook won it that year. Yeah, from Ohio.
Okay.
He's a really good player. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, winning that award is tough, but a lot of it depends on who comes out as Rookie of the Year that year too. So who comes out and bowls the tour that year? That
Yeah.
makes a difference too.
Yeah. I'm feeling like some of the guys that's going out on tour now, the talent level is getting to be even more harder and harder each
Oh
and every
yeah, for
race.
sure, for sure, because we're starting to see those guys that were collegiate all stars,
Yeah.
are the guys that are starting to get on tour. And just a couple of names that come straight to mind are like Wesley Lowe, Cameron
Yeah.
Doyle. Well, Cameron Doyle's group, I can't think of all their names right now, but just that entire group right there. Well, and most of those guys are from Wichita State as well, and they have a
Yeah.
great bowling program out there.
Yeah.
So
They do awesome bowling program.
yeah, so they make great bowlers. So all those collegiate players that were all stars are finally starting to come out and bowl on tour, and it's going to be even harder to win out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Like cause I bowled for Vincennes, and we were number 5 in the country, and we ended up bowling on a pair with Wichita, and they were number 1 at the time.
Okay.
And dude, it was like, and we were number 5. We weren't bad bowlers at all. We were pretty good. Like we had
Yeah.
a really good team, and just watching them, they were so much more disciplined, dude. They were
Really.
like, it was like an army, and they were so much more disciplined than what
That's
we
cool.
were. They all played the same. Like, if you're left-handed, everybody played the same line. If
That's
you're
cool.
right-handed, all played the same line. You were forced to, like, it was just crazy to watch.
That is
Most of them
crazy.
all threw the same exact bowling ball. Like, dude, they were disciplined. Like, very, very disciplined. I mean, we all would break down the lanes the right way, But
Yeah.
them guys just seem like they bowl together day and night, like
Yeah.
day and night. It
That's
was
the
fun to
thing.
watch.
The teams that are really good teams, like Wichita State that year, or all the teams that go to nationals. Nationals is a huge one when it comes to breaking down the lanes. You know, there's a reason that Dan Higgins' team. I don't even remember who's all on the team, or Brian Wallachek's team, or Kurt Pelon's team. There's a reason those guys are almost always in like the top 20 for team. It's because they work really well together and they stay disciplined. Like you said, that was a great word to use, because they'll stay right until the pattern blows up. You know, I'm left-handed, so the years I've gone to nationals, I haven't really had anybody there to really help. I think I've been the only left-hander on our like group or whatever. But I hear the right-handers talk about how they're going to break it down. But there's always like two or three guys that think it's time to move left when it's not.
Yeah,
And that's a big part of it. If you can stay disciplined and stay right for as long as possible until you feel you should move left and blow up the pattern, that's what it's about. That's what team bowling's about. On
yeah,
harder patterns, obviously.
yeah.
So
I
that,
totally agree.
that's pretty cool, though, that you bowled against, like you were saying, Wichita State, and at such a young age they were disciplined enough to break down patterns the right way and stuff.
It's crazy to watch. I'm watching. I think I was watching them more than I was watching myself, dude. Because I'm like watching these guys. I'm like, gee whiz, like they were
Yeah,
good. They
that's
were good.
awesome.
They were
Bowling.
good. Like, this is crazy. I mean, and like I said, we were number 5, and that was a big deal for us. Like a big deal. But
Yeah.
watching them guys, it was like we felt like kindergartners. I'm talking to my teammates. I'm like, do you see this? They're
That's
like,
funny.
yeah. It's crazy to watch. I mean, when they had a bad game, dude, they bounce right back the next game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing about the tour guys too. EJ and them, Chris Prather, a lot of the really, really, really good bowlers on tour, they might shoot 170, 180, once or twice, but they don't care because they know within the next couple games they're going to shoot 270 plus or
Yeah,
260 plus. They just know it's going to happen. So they're always super good at bouncing back. Good bowlers, good teams are all they just know. They have the confidence that they're gonna make a comeback game.
and that's pretty good. And Mike in the chat said, "Do you prefer team bowling, doubles, or singles tournaments?"
Oh yeah, no, that's a good question. I think I like doubles events a lot actually. Team bowling is really fun too. Team bowling is fun, but I also think it's the hardest to get all the guys on the same page and win, because you can't just have one guy bowling good. All your guys got to be bowling good to win team.
Yeah,
Same thing with doubles, but just less people. I have the most fun probably bowling my doubles events. Yeah, I've seen the most success bowling doubles as well. I don't know why, but I love bowling doubles events. Team
yeah, I
bowling's
have
awesome too, but having a success level is harder. Yeah.
very much so, very much so. I've like I said, I probably the same way. Doubles has always been like where I've had the most success because usually AJ is my partner.
Yeah,
Uh, like we have had like major success together, like all type of different tournaments, different patterns. So
for sure.
I've even bowled with guys that I was just there, and he's like, "Oh, you want to bowl?" And I'm like, "Dude, I didn't even bring my stuff, and I had to run home to get my stuff, and we won." Like literally, me and Jerry Reed. I remember we were bowling at PNA, and I lived right on the corner. And he was like, "Dude, where you want to bowl?" And I'm like, "Dude, I didn't even bring my stuff." He's like, "Dude, I really need a partner," and we end up winning.
No way.
Yeah, we won a
That's
basketball
crazy.
tournament. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. We won a basketball tournament. He literally he really didn't miss all day. Honestly,
That's
like
crazy.
honestly, the guy didn't miss all day. Like he didn't miss.
Yeah,
Only thing I had to do was strike when needed. It was a basketball
yeah,
tournament.
that's
You
crazy.
know, yeah,
So you're
dude, it
probably
was
pretty happy about going to get your stuff
yeah.
that
I was,
day.
I was, dude, I was. So
Yeah, I've
yeah,
been the same way. All my, well, not all, but a lot of my successes came from bowling doubles. I've got the state title with Pluto. Obviously, that was a lot of fun. And Jeremy I would say Jeremy and Tyler Wilds are my two staples for doubles tournaments.
Yeah,
And both of those players are talented.
yeah,
So we almost always feel like we have a chance bowling, and that's what I really like about doubles. Is we always, I feel like, have a chance to win.
and that's good. You
That's
got a
cool.
guy like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like that's kind of mindset I have when me and AJ bowl together. We always feel like we can compete at least.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You never feel like you're walking in at a disadvantage, and
yeah,
then when you do win, sharing that moment with somebody just makes it feel better. I think I don't know what it is, but sharing that moment and like building that camaraderie with somebody else is really cool. I really enjoy
yeah,
that. And I think that's a big reason too for like league bowling. I don't necessarily enjoy league bowling, but I enjoy building the camaraderie with the people I bowl with.
yeah,
I bowl with Gonzo, Joey Martin, Brandon Kraft, Gabe, Tajerna on Tuesdays. And those aren't guys I ever imagined myself bowling a league with, but I think I subbed with them a couple times, and you know, we just kind of became really good friends. And
yep,
now that's what it's more about. We go and eat before bowling sometimes. We hang out outside of bowling, and that's really awesome what bowling can do. You can build so many different friendships like that. In fact, I'd be willing to bet almost all of my friends have came from the bowling alley. It's crazy, but it's probably true.
yeah. Hey, that's what bowling's about, though, man.
Absolutely.
Bowling league is about making friends and having a good time. You
Yeah,
know, it is.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great time. Very great time. So yeah, Mike, that was another good question. That was a really, really good question. I don't think I've had like too much major success when it comes to like um team stuff though. Like literally only the one time we ever did well in team, we both Elkhart Team Challenge
Oh yeah.
and um Richie ended up bowling like Richie had like 860 or something, dude, 850 something or
Yeah, a
something.
monster.
Yeah, and we all of us barely had 670 or something,
Y'all
and we
jumped
made
in his backpack and
yeah,
let
we
him carry you to the
and
cut.
he carried us to the cut. But we really, I mean, you know how hard it is at the team challenge. It's
Oh
not easy.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not easy, so
No.
no, not at all. I mean, and that year, I think that was like one of the lowest years there was to make the cut, and we still shot 34-15 or something, 34.
Dang.
And we shoot 3,300 every time we go. We never make the cut, dude.
That's insane. Because I
Yeah,
mean that's still five guys averaging 220 for
yeah,
1100, and to think that doesn't even come close some years
no,
is crazy. And
no,
220, I mean, yeah, we're bowling on house, but there's so much transition at that tournament.
it
It's
is.
more than league, even though you have the same amount of play on the lanes as league. There's more transition because the bowlers are just really good at team
Yeah,
challenge. So
they
they
are.
they throw the right balls, and there's a lot of rev rate that tournament too.
It is a
They
lot.
tear the pattern up.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh,
that was kind of the thing too. They used to say like you can't win the team challenge unless you have a couple left-handers on your team, and that was true for a really long time.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's a fun
especially when the
tournament.
center
I
used to
enjoy
be
it.
wood guardian, that was a big
Yeah,
deal. Now it's synthetic. It's a little bit better for the right-handers, but I remember when it used to be wood guardian, it got nasty for team challenge,
I
hard.
used to like it when it was Wood Guardian, though. I scored so much better there, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and it
Yeah,
was kind of cool too because it was other than OC. I think that might have been the last wood center left in our area. I can't think of another
yeah,
one. Other than like the small places that I don't really consider like places I would bowl, and that's like the Eagles and like OC.
yeah,
We're never gonna hold anything competitive at any of those places,
yeah.
but yeah, I
You're
think that
right.
was probably the last place that was wood around here.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think nowhere around here I know
Yeah,
at
there's a
all.
couple of centers up in Michigan that I know for sure are still wood, but I haven't bowled in any of them recently. I
Okay.
know Charlie Brown Jr. bowls in it's called Wanger's Bowl. It's up by Grand Rapids, uh,
Okay.
and he said that's like the hardest center he's ever bowled in, and he bowls one league, and I don't know what his average is, but it can't be over 210, and obviously Charlie Brown's a
Really?
very very talented bowler.
Yeah, he is.
He'll average 230 on dang near any house pattern. But
Yeah.
he said Wenger's Bowl is super hard. It's like ROC from what I've heard. They've got
Wow.
above ground ball returns and everything still.
Oh
So,
wow.
so that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow, that is cool.
I,
Wow.
I'm yet to even bowl at a center with above ground ball returns. I think that's pretty neat.
I've actually I bowled in gosh, I cannot remember that center, but it was in Walkerton.
Walkerton, okay.
That oh god, the place is terrible. They actually I bowled there. It was like a small center, and we bowled there in high school. And I think it's like 8 lanes, dude. And we had to do like 5 shifts in this place.
What?
Yeah, we had to do like 5 shifts in this place, and we had to do it different days. And it was no oil machine. They ordered all by hand.
Oh my gosh.
The shot was horrible. Like it
Wow.
was, dude. That's the hardest place I ever bowled. Shady Lanes. That's what it is.
Shady Lanes.
Shady Lanes in Walkerton, dude. That's the hardest place I've ever bowled in there, dude.
That's crazy.
That place is hard, dude. Like you talking about hard. I'll take OC any day.
Really, over there?
Any day.
Anytime you're oiling by hand, especially if the woods or the center's going to be all wood, I mean, I'm sure the topography can't be good. So, oiling by hand, oh man.
Yeah, it was that's tough. Super hard. and Mike said, yeah, it's crazy in there. 170 to 180 was amazing.
Really?
Dude, it's super hard.
That is crazy.
Hard. I remember I was so stoked. I shot 230 there one day. I was so stoked, dude. I felt like I had shot 350, dude.
That's funny.
It's hard. I mentioned it to some of the bowlers because I coached a little bit after high school, and we still bowl there in our area. We still were bowling that place, and I'm like, dude, when are y'all gonna get out of here? And I mentioned it to like Robert Lordiga, and he like, dude, no, like 140, 150 in that place was good. He's like, dude, that's like a good score. I'm like, yeah, it is. That place is hard. Like,
dang. That would be fun to host some tournaments there, where
it would.
It almost feel like the Peterson. Have you bowled the Peterson?
No, I've never bowled.
Oh, you've never bowled the Peterson?
I've never bowled. I heard it.
My first experience at the Peterson was I bowled with Alex Weaver and Mike English, and Alex Weaver went up and we both started on, I think it was lane like 6. It's kind of an enclosed like block. There's I think 6 pairs, I think, or 8 pairs or whatever, maybe more. I don't remember, but it's enclosed off. It's in its own area. And he threw his first shot. I think it was on lane 6 or 8, and it hooked as soon as it hit the lane, and it went into the left gutter. And I got up there to throw my shot. I followed him on lane 6 or 8 or whatever it was. And my ball, I tried to hook it, and it went 60 feet and hit just the 7 pin. So it was like dramatically different for each of us. I was like, what the heck? Turned out like half the lane was oiled and half the lane wasn't.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. They put out some crazy stuff there. Yeah.
That is crazy.
But it's a really fun tournament. They say the best way to score there is to just throw a straight ball at the head pin, and I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to really go out there and play them. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Because you spend 6 frames trying to figure out what the lane even does, and then you spend your last 6 frames trying to throw 2 in a row. It just doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. I know the one year I remember a guy just absolutely destroying the Peterson was Jason Couch, and he used plastic and urethane and threw it right down the middle. Dude.
Yeah, right at the head pin.
Torched the Peterson. Yeah, dude.
That was how Matt Mcleod won. The first year I bowled it, Matt Mcleod bowled the squad after me, and I was kind of like peeking in the door, like watching him bowl. And he was, that's what he was doing, throwing it straight at the head pin. I think Liz Johnson was in that squad too, and she was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
She's a beast at the Peterson for some reason, and she doesn't throw it hard. She's just super accurate.
Yeah, because her ball roll, dude, is just she don't put a lot on the ball, and she's so accurate, dude.
Yeah. Because that's what I have trouble with at the Peterson is I can throw it straight at the head pin and hit the head pin for 8 games in a row, but I don't throw a lot of strikes in a row because I 5 pin a lot. I like 5-7 or I like I leave that like 5-8, and I don't know what the trick is to get my ball to get into a roll to go through the pins while I'm still throwing it straight. I just can't figure that part out.
Yeah. I know that would be weird for me too because I've never thrown it down the middle, so that's kind of like
Right. Yeah.
that'd be weird.
It's just weird.
Yeah, to get your ball to go through the pins the right way, I wouldn't know what to do either.
Yeah, and not to mention too, they'll like purposely mess up racks and stuff, and you're not allowed to re-rack the pins either. So like sometimes the 2-pin or the 3-pin, or heck, it could be the 9-pin for all we know. It'll be tucked up behind another pin, and like the racks are horrible. They do it on purpose, obviously.
Yeah,
but, it's kind of neat. Yeah, it's cool.
It's fun to do.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend Lindsay, we actually both bowled the Peterson one year, and she went out and experienced that. And we were through like 2 games, and she was like, "This tournament sucks." And I was like, "Yeah, it does." It's funny.
That's fun. That is funny. And Micah Trail said, yeah, that squad was loaded that year when Liz was on that squad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said that squad was loaded.
Yeah, I remember that year. I think I bowled the squad before them, and I kept like, because you're not really supposed to watch the other bowlers bowl. It's supposed to be kind of its own operation. You're not supposed to see what's going on and like whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I remember like I kept like peeking around the door and like seeing what was going on just because I was curious. Yeah. I had to see how Matt Mcleod was going to play him.
Yeah.
That's a fun tournament though. That's one tournament I hate signing up for, but then I get excited for once it gets close. I don't know what it is, but it always keeps people coming back.
So what tournaments do you have lined up for this year? Any big tournaments lined up?
Nothing really too scheduled right now. I really want to bowl some more. I want to bowl a couple of regionals and stuff this year. I want to get back into that.
Okay.
But as of right now, nothing big. I've got the doubles tournament I'm bowling with James Ruoff tonight. That's just a small like local thing though. But yeah, I want to get back into the regional scene a little bit. Like I said, I got to start throwing the ball better though. And that's going to require me putting some time in, Yeah. Because I don't know what it is, but my flat spot's just not what it was right now. I'm hitting up on the ball a lot more than I'd like to. There's just a couple of key factors in my game that I don't feel are physically right.
Yeah.
But once I get back into shape and stuff, I think I'll be back out there a little bit more.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So where your tournament at tonight?
It's in Three Rivers actually.
Okay.
Kristen Larson puts it on. She runs all the tri-counties and stuff too.
Okay.
I guess it's full too with 48 teams, so 96 bowlers.
Cool.
So it should be a pretty good turnout. Yeah. I love bowling in Three Rivers too. I bowled a 9-pin no tap tournament there last Wednesday. Those are really fun tournaments. I mean, it's a 9-pin no tap, so it's not too serious, but there's still some decent money. I think maxing out and all their side action was still like $330. So there's still money to be made out there, at stuff like that. So, but yeah, I pretty much try to bowl all of Kristen's stuff. She runs good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that NEI tournament that we bowled in on Sunday, just singles.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And Mark said, hey, Joe, tell Beaver I got in trouble for live streaming Facebook Live in his regional title by Phil Brylow. He said, you can't do that. That's copyright. Sorry, buddy.
I remember that, dude. That was just so funny. I remember hearing that and Mark telling me about that, and that made me laugh, because he told me, he was like, I was just so excited because we had a local bowler about to win a title, and it was so cool. And
I've seen what Mark posted, because I was about to go and do the same thing. Like, I was going to post a video too, and Mark was like, do you know I just got in trouble for doing it? I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't do it.
That's so funny.
Extra frame is like super expensive now, dude. It's like
it is. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I have the rollover from when it was flow bowling. Still, I think I have it like $13.99. But like, there's been nothing to really watch because of COVID and stuff. So it's kind of like whatever right now.
Like a dummy, my card expired. And I had to get a new card. And when I went to redo it again, dude, it's like
I want the new prices.
It's like new prices, maybe like $30 a month or something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, dude, it's like $30 a month because they want you to take all the other stuff. I don't want that. I just want the bowling, dude.
Right, just want the bowling, right?
Yeah, dude.
They do a lot. I bowled the that national set in Aurora, and like their setup and stuff is cool. I think that might have been back actually when it was flow bowling, but now even at the PBA, the main event or whatever, because they've only got 12 pairs there, they have a
Yeah.
camera on each pair. So the
Yeah.
commentary is only on the middle pair, but you can
Mhm.
actually go to any pair you want and watch whatever
Yep.
bowler you want. So the
Yep.
setup's pretty cool still.
It is. I had it for a little while before my car got messed up. So yeah, it's like really, really cool. Like you can watch any pair you want at any given time.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty neat. I mean, heck,
Yeah,
you could
it
even
is.
follow a bowler around. Like if you had a local bowler that was bowling in something like that, you could theoretically watch every shot they threw. And that's pretty
Yes,
neat.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool too. I thought that was real cool.
Yeah, because I remember back when I bowled the stop in Aurora. I remember getting home and after the stream ended or whatever, I was trying to find it on the because I wanted to watch myself bowl on extra frame. I thought it was cool, so I tried pulling it back up to watch it, and it was pretty neat. I think I shot like 210 and 220 on the TV pair both times.
Yeah.
Nothing special, but I just wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
And now actually, my regional title, I don't know why, but it's not on YouTube anymore. I can't find it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I do have the video saved in my laptop, so I thought about uploading it myself to YouTube. Just
you can upload it.
I think it's cool. Yeah, it's a memory, because you're not gonna have too many times. I may never win a regional again in my life, so having it be on video is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I would upload it if I was you.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, YouTube is and I'll send some subscribers your way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can upload it up and we'll set something up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super well, nowadays social media in general is just blowing up. It's just the way to kind of advertise anymore,
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Because I remember you telling me on Sunday how fast growing your channel is, and your wife had like 10,000 subscribers or something like that on her channel. That's crazy. Yeah,
it's pretty fast these days. I mean, you just got to get out there and push the channels, though. You got to push your channel. You can't kind of like just sit on it. You know what I'm saying? You got to push it.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. And then also being consistent with it and like having a consistent upload schedule and stuff like that, I think is really important. Because I know a lot of guys that have tried to start up YouTube channels and they'll maybe upload like 3 or 4 videos and it doesn't get the views that they want, and then they just kind of get on a bad schedule with it.
Yeah, you got to like I just uploaded a video the other day and I was getting like at first I was getting anywhere from like 100 views to 200 views on certain things. And I uploaded a video when we was at the tournament. I just uploaded like a little 20-second video. And dude, I looked at it today and it had 2,500 views. I don't know where they came from. I have no clue where they came from. It was only one shot and I struck and that was it. But I have no clue where they came from.
That's weird.
I had to look at it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, is this really real? I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, is this real? Because my wife get decent views. She get really decent views. Like, on certain things, she get really good views, but I'm new to this. I'm not,
Right.
So.
Well, it's cool. I'm actually really looking forward to. I saw Mark Million's comment about wanting to do this with you or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna talk to him and push him to try to do it because I would love to hear, because Mark's super into bowling.
Yeah.
It has been ever since I've met him. So I would love to hear him on here as well. I think I'm excited to see.
I got his number. I actually messaged him back. I got his number. We really tight, so I'm pretty sure he'll probably be next because Mikey said he wants to do it as well.
Yeah. Awesome. And then I'm looking forward to seeing more episodes of this because I think this is a great idea, especially with our local bowlers. Because we all know each other, and like when I'm having this conversation with you and saying local names and stuff. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to throw Mikey in the mix when we were talking about names earlier. I would bring Mikey to that tournament for $1 million for sure. I forgot all about that one. I think that's a great idea to interview local bowlers, and then when you watch it, you feel kind of almost involved when you're watching it because you know all the people that they're talking about. So it's cool.
Yep, it is. I feel like it'll pick up like really quick once a lot of people want to do it. I'm hoping I get a lot of guys that want to do it. I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get some older guys on here too because I think Val will want to do it as
Oh,
well because
Val would be a good one. So would
yeah.
Travis Wise's dad, Rick
Oh yeah,
Wise. He's both
yeah,
for a long time. Dude, you
yeah.
know what would be really cool is if you could get Randy Harvey on.
Wouldn't it? That would be
That would be
awesome.
sweet.
Well, I'm gonna talk to him and see if he'll do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
talk
bet he
to him.
would. He did a
I bet he.
bowling podcast with somebody in Florida not too long ago. I
I
watched
did.
bits and pieces of it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I can't remember who it was with, but I bet he would. Yeah,
That's cool.
that would be a
Uh,
neat one.
yeah, I go back and watch his where he bowled on tour, where he bowled at that one title stop. I go watch that where he
Yeah,
got second at a few times. It's pretty cool to watch.
yeah. At Woodland, was it Woodland
Yeah,
Bowl? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He
It's
gets
so
second.
crazy. That nothing about his game has changed. Like
No,
he's
I was just about to say that. Yeah, you
nothing.
can see the resemblance clear as day.
Yeah, you can't. I'm like, it looks like Harvey.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Kitty's in the
cool.
video right over there.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh,
So,
where you going, guy? Yeah, we just got this cat a couple weeks ago.
oh, really?
Yeah, he's a good cat though. He's
That's
just
cool.
pretty curious of what's going on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, if anybody have any more questions, I'll let you go. I know you got stuff to do. Get ready for your tournament tonight. Hope you
Yep.
guys do well. Hope you guys do very well at this.
Thanks, man.
And again, thank you, man, for coming on. I really appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you
absolutely.
for
Thanks for
coming on
thinking of
today.
me and having me.
Yeah,
You know, I feel like
yeah,
there's a handful of guys in here, and I would consider myself one of them that enjoys to talk about bowling and have a decent amount of insight on kind of like what goes on and stuff that we can make great conversation. So yeah.
yeah.
So
That'd be
yeah, I
cool.
appreciate you asking me.
That maybe one day we can, like I said, we can all, even after we do so many, we can all come back and I can have 10 people over here at a time.
I
So,
saw that in the information when it was telling me when I
yeah,
was logging in or whatever.
yeah, I have
That would
10
be
people.
cool too.
So we can do
Yeah.
something like that and just have a good time over here and just chat and talk,
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be
So
good.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this grows for you, man. I appreciate the invite.
Okay, all right, man. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you around.
All right, see you around, man.
Yep. Bye.
All right. All right, y'all. That was fun, fun, fun. That was our first segment of Let's Talk Bowling with a good friend of mine, Aaron Beaver, regional champ. That was really, really fun, y'all. Hopefully next week we'll have another special guest. I'm not sure who it's going to be yet, but I'm going to talk to the two individuals. Hopefully I can get my brother on here, Mark Million. That would be very good to have him next week. Hopefully, if he's not too busy. Mike Cottrell, if you're not busy, but I would love to have you on as well. If you like to do something like this is really, really fun. I would love to have you on as well. Um, this was fun. I had a really, 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 really good time. Um, Not only that, I learned more about guys that I know a lot about already. And then I love to talk bowling. I love bowling in general. So this was a awesome time for me. Y'all, the interview was amazing. Um, and I'm looking forward to more of these. He said, interesting, although most of it goes over my head. LOL. That was Sis Jane. All right. And you got can't wait for more interviews. Yes, I can't either. That was awesome. So y'all, I'm going to let everybody go. I love each and every one of you. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Let's Talk Bowling. Bye, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.